a Barbadian school that has produced Test cricketers Tino Bess and Dwayne Smith. In this edition of the BCA Club School of the Month, we visit the Graydon Sealy Secondary. There's so much to learn. This is B. I'm here at the Graydon Sealy Secondary School with two of the leading cricketers, Edwin Kersey Barnett to my left and Gaston Bones to my right. Gaston, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing quite good. Last year, you were part of a very successful Graydon Sealy school. My recollection is that you won the championship with 8 wins and 1 draw. How was that experience? And can you remember if you made any centuries during the course of that season?
Yeah, experience was good. It was hard at start to find a team, to be honest. But then when we found the team, fellas got together, played well, and they scored 1 century season.
That's great, guys. And so after making that century and being part of that champion team, you had the opportunity to go and play national cricket for Barbados. And quite recently you came back after a tournament and you did quite well. How was that experience overseas?
Yeah, experience overseas is a good experience to get to see other conditions and have to adapt to them. It's a good experience.
We're in 2023 and we are now preparing for another national youth tournament. And you've had the opportunity to be part of a few trial matches. Playing against those other talented cricketers, do you find it challenging as compared to when you're playing for your school, when you make these big triple hundreds and centuries?
Yes, it's very different because school division is not really as hard as playing against under 19s. A better competition, some better bowlers and better batsmen got be in the sun longer and feeling and stuff like that.
2022 brought tremendous success to the school with the winning of the school championship. Are there any young players in that team that you would identify as players possibly in the future that we can look out for in the Barbadian cricketing landscape?
Yeah, naturally, I think that we did very well to win the school 3-day championship last year. Off the top, you have Edwin Kersey Barnett, Gaston Boone, who's been the captain of the Barbados on the 15 team for the last 2 years. He made the second most runs in the regional competition this year, along with Tyreek Boyce. I think that once those guys know what they want to do and put in the hard work, I think they could be successful going forward. It's just a matter of wanting it. They must be hungry for that.
And you know, coming in this community type school here in Paddock Road, you need the success not only to happen, but you need to have the support of persons within the school framework, the principal, other players. How has that been here in the experience that you've had at the Graydon Senior Secondary?
I can tell you that we've been very, very supportive of the principals, the various principals. Now we've been through my 6 principals. And in terms of our cricket program, once we establish at the start of the season what we require, there is no concern. It's just the support is there. Naturally, the support is there.
Milton Small, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay at the present moment.
That success that we spoke about earlier in 2022, you being part of not just coaching, but being able to enjoy the performances of a lot of those young players. How would you rate that performance of those young men back in 2022?
The performances were of a very high standard. We had Gaston scoring 100 against Alexander. And then we had Azan Bennett. He also scored 100. And then we had Edwin Kersey Barnett. He scored a triple 100 against St. George Secondary, and he also scored 100 against Combermere. And, you know, that brought good feelings to me because I've been here for the last 6 years doing the coaching at this school. And it has warmed my heart to see the development of those youngsters, you know, going forward. I feel as long as they, you know, keep hold of their behavior and their talents, I think they could go a long way in the cricket in Barbados.
Do you have any ambitions, Edwin, of not just playing for the national on the 19 team, but going on maybe to play for Barbados senior team?
Yes, sir. And West Indies.
Wonderful. Who's your favorite cricketer?
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli. Any favorite West Indian cricketer?
Robbie Sherwood.
Robbie Sherwood. And Gaston, over to you. You've got a lot ahead of you, just like Edwin. Who was your favorite cricketer?
Chill.
And if you get an opportunity to get close to Shea, what do you think would be the one question you want to ask him in terms of how he plays or who he thinks of game? What would be one thing you want to get from a share?
Who he's played new ball so well.
Wonderful. But Mr. You wear many hats. You said that you've been experienced 6 principals. How much time have you been here at the Graydon Senior Secondary?
Well, myself, since I came back to my alma mater as lab assistant. So I've been here since 1992.
Wonderful. Well, Milton, you're a former Barbados West Indies cricketer, and I'm going to ask you a question about the young, talented fast bowling, not just at Graydon City, but generally throughout Barbados. Have you seen any players, maybe even if you don't call names, but some of the basics that you think would be contributing to make a very good fast bowler coming through?
But I think the basic things to make a good fast bowler coming through is you've got to be dedicated first and foremost. You have to work hard, because the hardest work in cricket is fast bowling, because you have to be running up from a distance. Your muscles have to be toned well, and then you have to be able to think the cricket, because when you're bowling at batsmen, you must be able to think out the batsman in all aspects of what they're doing. You know, looking through it, you have to have someone behind these fast bowlers that can give them that extra bit of push so that they will go along the way in what they're doing.
And the preparation going into that tournament, you know that the Sir Everton Centre of Excellence is held at Kensington Oval. You would go there at least twice a week, and there were a number of trial matches leading into the tournament. How do you put down the preparation for that competition and in general the work that's done at Kensington Oval?
The work that's done at Kensington is good work. It's hard work for the boys. Going into the competition was a lot of hard work, a lot of days coming out to the net, so 2-3 shirts full of sweat. It was a lot of hard work.
Wonderful, wonderful. Edwin, you were part of that wonderful team in 2022 for Graydon Sealy. And you did something that was phenomenal. Triple century. How was the season for you?
Yes. I made a century against Comamere the game before I made the triple century.
And coming to school after that 100, everybody hearing about what you did. How, with your family at home, how was it feeling after doing something so phenomenal?
Can't even explain it. Like, it was very good, and parents were very encouraging and wanted me to push more and get higher in cricket. So
wonderful. And Elvis, you wear different hats. You preparing now for the regional on the 17 and regional on 19 tournament as chairman of the youth selection panel. The Graydon Senior School, do you believe going forward, not just for Barbados youth cricket, but Barbados senior cricket, that we've got some young talent that can really maintain the legacy that we have here on the island?
Yeah, definitely. And we've been not short of talent. It's just, as I said, the hunger must be there and the desire to want to go forward. Obviously, you want to keep your skill levels up and stuff. But the consistency is the key too. I think once you're consistent and you have it in your mind and your body and your soul that you want to go forward, not only to play for Barbados, but to play for Barbados and be consistent.
Well, it is some quick math. You say 1992, so that's 8 plus 22, 23. So that's 30 years. This school is just 75 years old. Well, under 50 years old. So that means that you'll be here for half of the life of the school. What is your wish going forward, not just with the young talented cricketers, but the general school for the development of persons in Barbados?
To see better students, to see that you come into first form and you want to see development holistically. At the end of the 5-6 years, you want to see students naturally gain 6-7 O levels, and on top of that, be better persons. Yeah.
Thank you. And Milton, as I said earlier, having had the opportunity to wear the maroon cap, obviously now being able to impart your knowledge on these young men and women, what do you wish to have as your contribution towards not just persons at Graydon City, but would you want to be at some point given the opportunity maybe to work with other young people among the talent in Barbados?
Well, I've already done some work with some of the other young talent in Barbados, because prior to working with Graydon City, I used to be attached to the Severton Center of Excellence. So, passing on the knowledge that I have and that I have gained, no problem.
Well, I want to thank you, Milton, for the tremendous work that you are doing. And Elvis, you have done tremendous in terms of not just the administration, but the development of cricket here in Barbados and also the Graydon City. I want to wish you, the gentlemen, all the very best and the Graydon City success in 2023.
Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, I want to wish both you and Gabson the best during the course of the 2023 season and very best during the trial matches, and keep the Graydon City school flag flying high.